Let's go! Alright, that's our intro. That's our intro done. Okay, guys, it's been a while since I've updated you on the trading system. So we've taken a few trades here recently, which I'm gonna go over as we do our market analysis, but I wanted to set some specific goals here. So I have about 1.5 years of learning seriously in the markets, 1.5 years experience. But in the markets themselves, I have about 5 years of experience since I've been 15. So I live and breathe this shit basically. But now we're getting to a stage where we're becoming more professional, and I want to set some goals with this account. So you can see currently here, my aim is to get to a 10% profit on this account. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Obviously, we don't want it to take too long, but we want a 10% profit and we want the account to survive for at least 120 days because that shows that we're going to be getting consistent wins, basically. And we want to get no under 5% drawdown. But as you can see, our risk here, we're taking 1%, 1.5% risk per trade. So we can go on a 3-win trading losing streak as we did here and still be in the profit on our account. You can see this win here made up for 2 losses basically. Um, so yeah, and I'm confident that we're approaching a very good phase here in our trading. Obviously, I have my notes here. I've learned a lot, which on what not to do in the future. Always have to remind yourself. But writing your trades down in paper just makes it so much better. So yeah, we have a current trade in the stock market that we're gonna go over. So let's just start by looking at the stock market. Yeah, not the 5 minute. Let's go on to the daily here. So I talked about this a few weeks ago. Basically, I said, okay, I believe this pump is a short squeeze on the stock market. We were around just under all-time highs, but we've broken through all-time highs and we've actually been closing above the 1.2 here, which is a sign that we're gonna get continuation. So I'm not fighting the market. I can see where the price action is going. So so according to my trading system, I went long on the 10 EMA here. So I just went long just over here on this candle, the bottom of this candle. And it's been going pretty well so far. I mean, when the stock market is in price discovery, no one knows when it's gonna stop. So we're just gonna ride that trade to the upside until proven otherwise. Uh, Fundamentally, the market doesn't look good, but price action matters the most. So this is a very simple trade we've just taken here. I mean, until stock market stops going up, it's going to keep going up. It's just as simple as that. If you go on to the weekly here, you know, green candle, 4 green candles in a row. We'll see how this week that goes, but it looks like it's going to continue to the upside. So yeah, that's that's very simply how it is for the stock market. Because everybody was waiting for this all-time high retest over here, but it just kept wicking down, and all of these uh sell-offs just kept being bought into. When there's an obvious setup in the markets, normally it doesn't come to fruition. So yeah, that's the stock market. Now gold over here, it's just starting to roll over. Gold's been quite quiet the past couple months, which is actually a really good sign. Uh, i- you know, it means that smart money is buying and retail aren't interested in gold. So I'm looking for gold to uh, get back down to this green box, which is a daily imbalance. You can see this massive selling climax, this wicket left behind here. This essentially means that in this gray box, that buyers outweigh the sellers. So you can see once the price dipped back down into this daily imbalance, it just shot up because there were just a ton of buyers waiting here. So, this 2025 high support was really good earlier. You can see here, 2nd February bottom, uh, April bottom, but it isn't holding so strong this time. So I expect it to kind of break, and we're gonna get another retest of this daily imbalance. But I do expect it to hold, honestly, just because of the lack of ex retail interest in gold right now. I think people are gonna be looking to do a lot of buying here. So I'm looking at this kind of zone, this yearly open, and it's converging with the 200-day EMA. It's a very strong level, but it might get front run, so we may get in on a longer 4400 or so. Uh, but yeah, that's essentially it for gold. Very simple. We're just looking for we may get some kind of range formed and some kind of base to be built here, which is a good thing because these periods of low volatility let people reaccumulate their positions, let all of the weak hand retail sell their positions, and that sets us up for a new leg up. So yeah, I'm liking what gold is doing here. Just a silent, kind of quiet period. So yeah. Now oil is you know Oil, same thing as stock market. Fundamentally, oil should be skyrocketing, but it's not because everyone's way too overpositioned on oil. You can see you're having these massive rallies, which are just getting sold into. And this gap I drew earlier that's being sold into. So we're probably looking for down continuation, as you can see some kind of range here forming between 117 and 75, 76 or so. So we're just going to be playing the range. I entered the short actually on oil. I entered the short on oil around here, around 105, and and as it went down to 100, I put my stop to break even. So I got stopped out on this trade, but no loss, as you can see. Yeah, over here, just a 0.07% gain. So you can't complain about that. And if this price keeps squeezing up like this, we can actually re-enter a short on oil because I think the price action is looking quite bearish on the higher time frames. You know, it just it just needs a bit more time to build a base like it did below here until it can start going to new all-time highs again. So you can see the price dip into these lower ranges into the 90s. You're going to catch really good bids there. A lot of people want to buy in the 90s, even in the 80s as well, which will let it build a base before it can sustainably start pushing up and break this all-time high at 120. So yeah, yeah, oil seems like it's in a big range, so we're going to trade that. Uh, you know, short at the 0.25, long at the 0.25. That's our rough plan. So short at 808, long at about 87, roughly. Now, uh, now, this is just quick fire analysis here. On the larger time frames, though, oil does look quite bullish because it's had this long phase where it just did nothing. Uh, you know, still holding its 10 and 20 week pans, so it looks strong. It's just not going to break out when everyone wants it to break out, which is now. It might take another month, 2 months. So yeah, we'll be looking out for signs for that. And now, Bitcoin. Bitcoin, this liquidity that we set out a while ago, this bottom at 80.7K has been tapped exactly. And now it's been tapped exactly. It's been tapped over here. And I think on the 4 hour, it's been tapped twice. Yeah, look at that. It's been tapped basically twice here. So Bitcoin looks like it's starting to weaken here. And, we're going to look for shorts on Bitcoin if it starts closing below 78.3 again, because it just keeps getting rejected off this zone. If we go to our notes here, we are starting to get momentum slowing, but that doesn't mean we still can't hit these targets to get everyone really faked out here. 50-week EMA 85.7K. That would still be bearish market structure because we have this high here. We just simply get a lower high over here. And then we could either make a new low, or if we fail to make a new low, say after hitting 85K, we bottom at somewhere, in the 60s, 62, 64K. That's very bullish and sets us up to for a range where we can build a base on Bitcoin. But I think everyone's just getting too ahead of themselves. You have to be patient here. I have my notes here, but I don't know if it would be beneficial to go over it over them in detail because it may be too technical for some of you, but you can kind of read them here. I said on the lower time frame we may get some kind of distribution structure where we kind of just hover around this top side to get people thinking that we may get a breakout. And then when the stock market topples over, that's when Bitcoin really starts bleeding. But yeah, uh, for a more macro outlook, the probabilities of a peace deal in Iran are just falling by the day. Where is this? Yep. Probability of a peace deal in Iran is falling by the day. If we go on the June 30th market, we go to the graph. It's just it's just plummeting. It's just consistently plummeting. So by the time you get this reach 20%, under 20%, then you're really gonna start seeing risk off in the markets. But I think not just yet. These things take time to play out. And, you know, the price can get people to believe in a fake reality, essentially. And when that starts happening, then that's when the price actually reflects reality. It's a psychological game. So, yeah, that's what we're waiting for. For oil, we're just looking for mean reversion. And that's when we can really load our positions. For gold as well, we're looking to load our positions. And for stock market, we're just in a long right now. Just riding the trend upwards so far. So yeah, I mean, another thing I see is that all the attention is on stocks right now. I mean, if you look at Google, for example, Google just looks beautiful. It's just skyrocketing to new all-time highs, like massive impulse move, even though it's like, I think it's the second biggest company in the stock market. It's having these massive moves, kind of moving like altcoins. That just smells of exit liquidity to me. Maybe not now, while the trend's going on now, we're gonna ride it. But, in the next 6, 12 months, you're gonna start seeing big players really start to unload their positions. Because as we've discussed before, we're gonna get stagflation. So, yeah, I mean, what else can we look at over here? Yeah, so another thing actually, the dollar over here. This is our kind of like indicator of risk on and risk off. If we start getting into the red zone, then we can expect the dollar to bounce back down, and that's when we can go risk on. So we can start longing our Bitcoins, our stock markets, our, Bitcoin and stock market mainly. Once we get to the green, the dollar's probably going to bounce up in this range. Then we can start looking for risk off, which is longs on our gold, on our oil. But as you can see right now, we're in a bit of a limbo area. We're just in the middle, so we're just kind of waiting for all of our assets to mean revert here before we can start to make a play. Uh, so we're not really in anything except for the stock market trade right now because it is in price discovery. So, and we managed to catch it on the breakout. So yeah, stay tuned.